Hey everyone, it's Theresa V, and welcome home if you're a sensitive who wants to create a life that you love on this planet that you love. Each month, I check in with the archangels to see what advice they have to help us navigate the energies that we're currently facing in the world. And as you can imagine, this month they had a lot to say. One of the big things that Archangel Michael wants us to understand is that we have the ability to ride the current waves of fear without getting involved in them and without going into that fear and becoming part of it. And one of the questions that keeps coming up is, how do I navigate this world right now and pay attention and be cautious, but stay out of fear? The difference lies between worry and using common sense, following your guidance. Archangel Michael wants us to begin to really pay attention to our guidance, and when we get that guidance, take it as fact. Don't argue against it. Guidance that comes from the angels, from our higher self, will always feel very aligned, will always feel good and true, even if it makes us a little uncomfortable because it's stretching us through a growth point or it's stretching us a little out of our comfort zone. Our guidance from the angelic realm, from our higher self, from our guides of light, feels like a nudging, and that nudging won't go away. Or it could also show up as a knowing, and that knowing just won't go away. It keeps coming and keeps coming. It doesn't provoke anxiety. So if something is coming to you and feels really weird and you're not sure if it's your head or your guidance, if it doesn't feel underneath maybe a little discomfort, if it doesn't feel settled, if the energy feels really disturbing, then it is not your guidance, and it is not guidance coming from your angelic helpers. So they really want us to understand that our guidance, though it may make us uncomfortable, will always underneath it all feel aligned and not make us feel anxious at all. In fact, that guidance serves to do the exact opposite. It serves to really help us to be more in a space of peace. And Archangel Michael and all of the archangels of the healing energy field really want to address our fears about health. This is health in all ways, but there are a couple of ways that are really showing themselves right now. Being in touch with our guidance, being in touch with our angels and the elementals will really help us to navigate some of the health stuff, a lot of the fear, a lot of our own things that come up with our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. So Archangel Michael is saying this is exactly why for the last year or two I've really been encouraging you to start a conversation with your body elemental, because in that conversation you will be able to direct your body elemental in terms of which energies are healthy and which ones to stay away from, and your body elemental will then also be able to tell you what it needs to be at its healthiest. So if you haven't started that conversation yet, now is definitely the time. That is one of the things that will help us navigate the times that we're living in. In my own life, I've just spent a lot of time flying, and I really checked in because there was a lot of fear with flying and all of it. And I said to Archangel Michael, I said, what do I need to know? And he said, wear a mask. And I said, okay. So that conversation, that guidance came in. It was taken as fact. I need to wear a mask because my guides told me so. I don't care what's in the media about how effective it is. I don't care what anyone has to say about it. I know that that's my guidance, so I'm going to follow it. And so taking that as a fact allowed me to not be in fear about it. It was just a fact. It was presented. It was something I had to do, and we go about our time and we go about our way. And this is the way that we stay out of fear. When we get the guidance, we can take it as fact. We can move from that place of not needing to get all frenzied about it, just following what is put in front of us and knowing that will be the thing that moves us to the next place in our lives in the healthiest way possible. I was also guided to boost my immune system with certain vitamins before I traveled. And once again, a little bit of a shift when I got back. Now, I've been working with my body elemental for a really long time, so this was pretty easy for me. And you might think it's not that easy for you, but it will be. The way to navigate the fear right now is to know that the guidance is available to you in every moment for exactly what you need to do and the step that you need to take. All that you need to do is get yourself in a space that is quiet enough where the anxiety is not affecting you, the anxiety around you or inside of you. And you can just still yourself and say, what do I need to know? And you're asking your guides, your higher self, your guidance, the divine, as well as your body elemental. And you will receive that guidance in the form of a thought, in the form of a sound, in the form of a picture, in the form of a smell even. And if you're not just sitting there and experiencing that, guess what? You're going to turn on the radio and there's going to be a song. And then someone's going to talk to you about the same thing that that song just said. Or you'll be behind a certain truck or a license plate. There is always going to be an answer. You just have to remain open to receiving it. One of the things that bears mentioning that Archangel Ariel wanted me to talk about that's really making her ecstatic as well as making me really happy is that over this year, when I am talking to people who have dealt with cancer issues in their bodies, their system now looks a lot different than it did for someone with a cancer diagnosis in the past, even last year or the year before. What we've been seeing is because there's so much information available to us now to work with ourselves, to nourish ourselves from the inside, to work with our bodies instead of just against them, to move through this process. The cells of the people who I've been working with are so grateful. They are just glowing and radiating this beautiful energy of gratitude because the people I've been working with have done things like changed their diet, supplemented their nutrition, or started an exercise regimen, or they've gotten rid of toxic relationships. Whatever it is that they're doing to change their bodies from the inside, to help their cells, to nourish their cells so that they can grow and be healthy and be happy. And that's exactly what their cells are responding to. Their cells are so grateful for being paid attention to, for being listened to, that they are radiating this incredible energy that now is spreading through the rest of their body, this high vibration gratitude energy. And what we've seen to be true is that when there is a high vibration, low vibrations can't affect that. So the joy here is in the difference of the approach that we are taking to nourish, to work with our bodies, and in the communication that our bodies and our cells are giving back to us. That's the thing. It's a two-way communication. And this is exactly what the angels are talking to us about. Communicating with our physical system as well as with our intuitive guidance and the divine. And really checking in with those things and sorting through it all and navigating this planet and all of the energy and all of the stimulus that's coming from outside of us by getting really quiet, moving into our sovereignty, and following that guidance that comes from within. According to the angels, this is how we will ride the waves of fear. Fear is just a natural human response to things that we don't yet understand. We've seen it throughout history. Just knowing that this is a period of time where there's a lot of fear being perpetrated because there's a lot that's not being understood by the collective. So Archangel Michael wants us to have compassion for ourselves in this time, to have compassion for the collective, and to have compassion for all of the people that you hear who are speaking from a place of fear or stuck in fear. We're actually actively moving from that place now into a place of navigating our health, navigating these bouts of fear from a place of intuitive guidance instead of that basic human fear that has plagued us for so many generations. This is the point where we're moving from carbon to crystalline, and this is part of the change. That feels really complete from the angels for this month. If you feel the resonance and the call to connect with your body elemental, I ask you please to begin to do so. And if you're not sure how to go about it, I do have an audio class as well as a meditation as part of that class to connect you in with your own body elemental and start the dialogue, start working together to make you the healthiest person possible and to keep you as healthy and whole as possible every day. Not just now, but every day moving forward for the rest of your life. So click the link in the description of this video or in the comments, and you'll be taken to the checkout page where you can purchase this very low-cost audio. I want everyone who feels called to start this dialogue to be able to do it. This is why Archangel Michael has been talking about this for the last couple of years. Our time is now. This is the time he's been preparing us for. So however you do it, please begin to work with your body elemental. Please begin to ask what you need to stay as healthy as possible as we move forward. Sending you so much love and so much light. We'll connect again real soon, everybody.